My name is Magnus Axholt, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Navigraph. All right, I'm getting the feelings that we're doing MTV Cribs here, but welcome to Navigraph. We're in Old Town Stockholm right now. Our offices are actually in the place where there used to be an old fur shop. So fur shop, where they're selling fur. And the windows out here are the old store windows that go down to the street. So I suppose they would have the furs on display here. And if you look up at the very top of the windows, you can still see those little pipes where the gas came out, for the gas lamps to illuminate these mannequins, I imagine, where they had fur on display. Anyway, enough about the fur. There's no fur here anymore. There's a company called Navigraph, and we're doing flight simulation data. I've worked with Navigraph since 2003, so that makes almost 16 years now. Well, back in 2003, me and my colleague Steven, we were working for Scandinavian Airline Systems and their flight support group. We were building a publishing system, or basically their website. And one day when me and Steven, we were walking down the hallways of the SAS office, we heard from the customer support department that there were people requesting outdated approach charts. And we thought this was curious. Why would people want old charts? So we started asking the customer support department about these emails that they were receiving. And it turns out that there were flight simulator enthusiasts that wanted these charts to use with their simulator. This was curious, we thought, so we investigated a little bit more, and this was truly like a keyhole experience, because from a distance this sounded like a fringe case or something very small. But as we approached this topic, it turned out to be the whole flight simulator community waiting to get data from us. This is where I sit. I like to be in the center of things, so I have a good view of my colleagues around. Steven sits over here. This is the guy I'm running the company with. Steven O'Connell. Pontus Rogala. Christian Johansson, he is the one that does the main development on charts, so if any bugs, this is the guy you want to get a hold of. Here is either Kevin or Vasily. Vasily is in Japan right now, working remotely. This is Tim. Tim is responsible for support. This is probably the guy that you've been speaking to if you've been in the forums or if you've been emailing to us. There's another guy in the forum called Ian. Ian is located in Australia, and that's pretty good because then we have two different time zones and we can provide continuous support. So we were able to get these charts, although they were 3 months old or even older sometimes, and we started selling these to, at the very beginning there were some 300 customers. We also programmed a viewing software which we called NDAC, which stood for Navigraph Digital Aeronautical Charts, something like that. And the charts were distributed on DVDs. So we would send out DVDs to our customers all around the world. They were not only in Sweden and Scandinavia, but also in Malaysia and Saudi Arabia and Australia and well, all over the place. Now the problem with shipping DVDs like this all around the world is that the DVDs that would get lost, and to be quite honest, it was a bit of a mess in the beginning. But we updated the software, and eventually it relied on internet downloads, and after a year or two we had something working which actually downloaded the Delta updates of these charts. So this was the beginning of the Navigraph that we know today. A few years later, in 2006, I think, we made contact with an Austrian gentleman named Richard Stefan, and he was very knowledgeable in parsing add-on data or add-on data formats. So once again, we approached SAS and we wondered whether we could buy some of their outdated nav data. And sure enough, we could, and we started parsing add-on formats. And today we're supporting a little bit over 120 different add-on formats, and this all started in 2006 with a collaboration with Richard Stefan. Yeah, and it's the development of these services and the continuous demand of them that has driven the development of Navigraph. We stay in very close touch with our users. We listen very carefully to what our users want, and then we develop the products according to their requests. In here is where we keep the morning meetings. So every morning at 10 o'clock, this is where we all stand up, and for 15 or 20 minutes we...
Usually an hour.
Usually an hour, yeah. Sometimes they tend to go on a little bit, but we're supposed to tell each other what we've done and what we'll be doing, and plan the sprints. The developers like to call it sprints. Sprints are, work packages basically. This is what we use for planning. So yeah, we like to keep it a little bit of the aviation theme here.
Like a propeller there, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
This one here, so funny. Steven actually stole this at an airport once.
Oh really?
No.
No.
We bought it. And this is where we hang out. This is where we try to be as creative as we can. At the moment we're 12 on the team. So every month we have a developer workshop here, and this is where this place gets a little bit more crowded. But today we're only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this room here is a little bit of well, we call it the bear cave because it's dark and it's in the far corner. This is where we have our VR system. This is a simulation computer where we just do simple tests. Most of the testing is done by you guys, I mean people in the community. So we do some rudimentary testing here, but most of it is done elsewhere. Innovation here at Navigraph starts with the yearly workshop. Once per year in this office we collect all of our developers and we listen to what the users have to tell us. The user feedback typically comes through the annual community survey, and in this survey we ask specific questions about our products, but also general questions about what features that users request in general. And this gives us a little bit of feeling about the trend in the flight simulator community. So based on this input and based on these ideas, we design additions to our existing products, and we also think of new products. And not all of these products materialize into a product which we release. Sometimes they are kept on some sort of an experimental stage. But we test them all with focus groups and beta testers, and also here we receive a lot of feedback. Once a product has been released, we receive additional feedback through support forums, for instance, and sometimes one-on-one with our support email. And I'd like to stress that the innovation is driven truly by user feedback. So it's the people in the community that tell us what they want, and we do our best to incorporate it into our products. Well, Navigraph is fortunate enough to have Jeppesen as a data provider, and Jeppesen provides us with a worldwide coverage of approach charts and also nav data that goes into rendering, for instance, our en route chart. So with this worldwide coverage, we are unique to the flight simulation community. We like it here. It's a little bit of a homey feeling. It's like a home away from home, considering the amount of time we spend here. I think it's good.
And it's in Gamla stan, Stockholm.
Right, Old Town, Altstadt, Gamla stan. So yeah, it's right smack dab in the middle of Stockholm, which makes it easy to get here. So it's just a 10-minute walk from the central station. So yeah, no, I think we're good, well located here. Well, the idea is that you'll be able to follow us a little bit more here, and maybe we'll put up a few more videos about particular products that we got running, so we'll check in again.
Yeah, all right.
Cheers.